Hello there, everybody. Welcome to a more, non-podcast episode of the Guys Who Stare at Stats. More just the generic video here. Cade Kennedy along with Andrew Santangelo. It's opening day, Andrew. Always a fun time there, but we've got a little bit of basketball to talk about as the Final Four just a few days away.
Yeah, it should be a national holiday. I've always said that, opening day. Everybody should be off for it. So we can all just go home and watch baseball. But no, yeah, we got before we kind of go into full baseball mode, we got to get through the Final Four here, one of the most exciting times as well. So, no, should have two great games this weekend. I know it's not all the more popular, fun teams everyone hopes for in the end, but I think we're going to have two fantastic games we can get to preview.
I mean, we have three different teams making it to the Final Four for the first time ever, and looking at the first matchup, the 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern game with Florida Atlantic taking on San Diego State. Somebody's going to the national title game for the first time in the history of their program. That's always a fun time to see. San Diego State 3-point favorites in this one. Kind of a fun matchup, Andrew, here. The defense of San Diego State versus the offense of FAU.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is one of those, like, which side will prevail. You have, the like you said, the defensive-minded San Diego State, a very good offense in Florida Atlantic. Which one's going to show up a little bit more? We've seen both sides work in each other's favor. Sometimes you do see the defense overtake the offense, and sometimes you get the other way around. So yeah, it'll be interesting, and I think it's gonna be a good tough battle between the two teams, and I think the defense in this one could be the difference in the sense of we'll see what Florida Atlantic's able to do and what adjustments they're able to make early on if they do start to struggle. But we'll also see. I mean, you saw it when you talk about a defensive-minded team when it comes back to haunches, Virginia. When you see them kind of blow that lead and then they need a big bucket and they don't really have that guy to go to there and couldn't get a shot. So it's going to be a back and forth game, and it's going to be interesting to see which side kind of takes over.
It will be. It's one of those that this year, more than not, at least in my opinion, the defensive teams have kind of prevailed in these kind of matchups of who wins in that offense versus defense. And it'll be interesting to see. I mean, like we mentioned, it's going to be another one of those battles. You got both teams. I think the nerves will be there definitely for both sides early in the game. And but one thing I also want to point out here, folks, and you can probably see it on the screen and move the mouse over to scroll over it. Only $44 for tickets at NRG. I mean, it is
record low, I read.
Yeah, it is one of the cheapest times to ever go to the Final Four. So if you're really indecisive about it, this would be the year to go see it. It'll be some fun for sure. But at the end of the day with this one, I think the defense prevails. I like San Diego State to get the win here over FAU.
So I'm gonna swing the other way. When I did my bracket, I love the defense. I went Virginia, I went Houston. I was all over the defense, and it just continued to let me down here. So I'm gonna take the offensive-minded Owls here. They're averaging 78 points. Their defense, they give about 66 a game, so their defense isn't bad either. So I think they got a little bit better of a mix here than San Diego State. So I'm going to say Florida Atlantic gets the job done. Davis has a good game for him, and I think it's going to be a strong point. And I think you kind of get a 75-72 kind of range game here. I do think it's going to be a battle, and it'll be 1 to 2 possessions, obviously, depending on foul shots late in the game. But you see the spread's -3, San Diego State. I would have a hard time believing there's a blowout. But
yeah, that's how I feel with all these games we're going to have. If there's a blowout at this point, I'd be shocked. But that brings us to our other game with Miami taking on UConn, the Huskies. It seems like they always thrive when we get these chaotic tournaments. UConn always in the mix. Here they are once again taking on Miami that, once again, here for the first time. It's hard to think about with the football tradition, the baseball tradition the Canes have had. Just here for the first time, but they have a guy who knows how to do this in Jim Larrañaga.
No, it's unbelievable that it's their first time. And we talked about it on Tuesday. I'm still shocked. I mean, like you said, the storied history between football, baseball, etc. that university has had, and here they are, first time ever they're making the Final Four. Not winning a championship, making the Final Four. Like that's the shocking part. But I don't know. I kind of go back and forth with this game. I think you have two great teams. Obviously, you have two coaches that have been around the game for a while, have been there before. I mean, Dan Hurley, obviously, very animated coach on the sideline there. I really like Miami's offense at times. I think they can mix it up well, too. I like the Hurricanes in this matchup.
Yeah, this is one that UConn's a 5.5 point favorite. I think it'll be a bit closer than that. At the end of the day, battling it out here, I guess we're going to agree to disagree on both of these. I like UConn to win this one. I think it'll be a fun battle, but at the end of the day, UConn has looked like one of the most impressive teams in the country this entire tournament. You mentioned it with the undefeated against everyone outside of the Big East, and I think that run continues for the Huskies.
Yeah, no, I mean they're very well tested. That they've been there. They've been tested in close games and everything. But both these teams have, and I mean, just kind of a fun year. And we always hear about the Big Ten, the Big 12, the SEC, and stuff. And it's kind of funny. You don't get any of those teams here in the Final Four. You get the ACC, you get the Mountain West, you get the Big East, and I completely
You get
forgot
Conference USA.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm not even gonna. I don't want to guess wrong. So I figured you probably remember. So, but no, it's fun battle there too. And I mean, credit to these teams. I think it'd be fun too to get an all Florida type championship here.
It would be. Another fun fact about Conference USA, they have an opportunity to do something that's never been done before with a clean sweep. As Charlotte won the CBI, if you care about the College Basketball Invitational, Charlotte's out of Conference USA. They won that. UAB and North Texas, both in Conference USA. That's our NIT championship that is tonight as the time of we're recording this. And Florida Atlantic in the Final Four, they're going to get at least 2 of 3. And if FAU wins a national title, all 3 conference participants in their respective fields winning tournaments. So that would be impressive to see.
Yeah, no, that would be very impressive, and I always forget about that CBI or whatever. It's they got so many of these tournaments nowadays. It's kind of funny to think about, but no, yeah, I mean it's funny too. You always hear about all the this team got snubbed, that team got snubbed, and you have a chance to prove it in the NIT, and you never get any of those teams in the NIT championship. It feels like, so. Hey, it's gonna be a battle, but it's been a fun year of college basketball too, and I mean it's always a shame to see it slowly come to an end.
It is. It's one of those that you're always excited to see. It's always that build up to championship weekend, then to March Madness itself, and then now here we are with only 3 games left on the season. But folks, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe and like the video as well. Leave a comment down below. Do you agree with us, disagree with us? You kind of have to. We both picked opposites here. So, folks, until next time, have a great one and enjoy the Final Four.